Somebody look at your neighbor and say, she finna bring it tonight. I say somebody look at your neighbor and say, she finna bring it tonight. And if you ain't got a neighbor, look at yourself and say, she finna bring it to fuck a night. Or we gonna jump right into it, because that's how we do it over here. I ain't gonna tear too long tonight, y'all. But I told y'all, my people, that I was gonna come back with a part 2. Now, if you haven't watched part 1, watch that video first to better understand what's going on in this video right here. We jumps right into it. Come on, let's do it. I'm gonna start back where I left off. Where I left off in part 1, I showed y'all. I showed y'all how the characters stack in smoke, played by one actor, Michael B. Jordan. And I showed y'all in part 1 that stack in smoke, they represent a celebrity, etc. They represent anybody who signed down with the blood sacrifices. They go in one way and they go out another. In other words, they don't come back. Once they've been taken over, they don't come back. We heard that saying, good girl, gone bad. I know y'all done heard that saying, good girl, gone bad. Rihanna got an album called Good Girl, Gone Bad. I know some of y'all done heard about that. Here it is right here. That wasn't just a play on words. Good girl gone bad? They just wasn't playing with words on that right there. Rihanna went in the game, / the industry. Perfect DNA. Listen to me closely. Perfect DNA. Meaning that she wasn't taken over by the evils, the devils. She was good. Then Rihanna, she accepted the deal with Jay-Z. And that's when she became infected by the evils / the devils. Who I say she accepted the deal from? Jay-Z. And when you watch that video by Jay-Z featuring Kanye West and Rihanna, Run This Town. Go watch that video, Run This Town. That music video, it looks similar to what we see going on in a Sinners movie. You got to know how to put it together, my people. Jay-Z, Kanye West, and Rihanna. That vampire-type spirit, it has been transferred and is operating through them. And they ain't the only ones. I'm showing you an example. And that song, Run This Town, that song was about transference of spirits / possession. That's what it was about. Come on, y'all. I told y'all I was going to bust y'all head with this one and put it all the way together. Now I want y'all to look at the names. Look at the names that was given to the twins that was played by Michael B. Jordan. Stack and Smoke. That was the names of the twins. Stack and Smoke. Let me break it down and put it together. For example, when a rapper, etc., when they get in the game / the industry, and they give up the blood sacrifice, they think everything all good. And they think they're going to enjoy them stacks of money. You see some of them today. taking pictures with stacks of money, holding the stacks of money, putting the stacks of money up to their ear, all types of stuff. And in the end, what end up happening? They end up getting smoked, taken up out of here. And I ain't just talking about in no blunt, because nowadays, they naming blunts after dead people. And when they smoke it, they say, I just smoke Lil Ray Ray. Smoke, meaning to take out, to unalive. And that's how they got them names. Stack and smoke. Put it together. They stacking up all that goddamn money, think they gonna keep it, and everything gonna be all good, and in the end, they end up getting what? Smoked. Moving on to the next. Moving on to the next scene, y'all. The next two scenes that I want to speak on is when Stacks told Sammy that the guitar that him and Smoke gave him, it wasn't from the blues legend Charlie Patton. And Smoke told Sammy, he said, shit, that guitar, that was my daddy's guitar, your uncle's guitar. And even after Sammy found out about the guitar, he still kept the guitar, and it remained deeply meaningful to Sammy. Somebody say, so, madam, what was that scene showing us? What was those two scenes telling us right there? What those two scenes was telling us, it was speaking of the ancestors who passed on. That guitar belonged to his uncle, who transitioned / passed away, known as being Sammy's ancestor. And the guitar, it represented the gifts and talents of a bloodline, representing family and legacy. So put it together. When that vampire-type spirit is transferred into a person, those gifts / memory, etc., is then transferred to that vampire-type spirit. So that's what they were showing us in them scenes, y'all. It was speaking of our gifts, our talents, and the gifts and talents of our ancestors being corrupted by that vampire-type spirit. And that rabbit hole go deeper. You gotta know how to put the pieces of the puzzle together. The next character I want to speak about is Annie. Here she is right here, Annie. When you look at Annie's character, she was known as being the hoodoo practitioner, the spiritual guide. Annie didn't talk about, trying to run to the church. When those vampire-type spirits, they start turning up. She ain't say, come on, y'all, let's run to the church. She turned to our spirituality that was passed on from our ancestors. They was looking at Annie like she was crazy. She was telling them. She said, eat the clover or garlic. She was telling them to do different things. She said, eat the clover garlic so we can see who possessed by that vampire spirit. Because if y'all possessed in here, y'all got to go. And most folks don't even know. That is a real ritual that you can do. You can do this ritual toward energy vampires. And rabbit hole go deeper. This character, Annie, and her scenes that she played in, it was telling us. It was telling us spirituality works. That's our shit. It ain't all about the dark things that they show us about spirituality. Unless we got to protect ourselves and things of that nature. But we are to use our spirituality for manifestation, for creation, etc. And if our people got together with our spirituality, our different gifts, etc., it wouldn't even be no fucker selling out to the evils, the devil / the PTB. It wouldn't be no selling out. And that rabbit hole go deeper. We done got scared to use our spirituality. We've been taught that our spirituality is the devil. And then they just send us to the church. Moving on to the next. Said I ain't gonna tarry too long. Moving on to the next scene. Next scene I want to speak about is the head vampire spirit named Remick and the other vampire spirits that he had with him. They sung a song called Pick, Pour, Robin Clean. What was that song telling us, y'all? What was they telling us through that song? Pick, pour, Robin clean. The sisters gave it to me. Let me break it down. That vampire spirit / the powers that be, they pick the ones they say to be poor people. And I don't care how rich you are. If you got skin color like mine, you are still considered poor to them. They pick these poor people who they say ain't got nothing but gifts and talents, things of that nature. And after they pick these people that they consider as being poor people that ain't got nothing but gifts and talents, most of these folks, they end up signing the sacrifice deal to get in the music industry, in the teaching / schooling industry, the fashion industry, the medical industry, the church industry, etc. And they make these folks think it's going to be all good until the end. They make these folks think that they got it all. The money, the good life, and that vampire spirit, it go in / is transferred in, and it rob they ass of clean. They rob them of their mind, body, and then their soul, their bloodline, and their ancestral gifts, etc. That's what the song, Pick, Pour, Robin, Clean. Pick 'em, pick the poor. What they do? They pick the poor, and then they rob 'em clean. Put it together. And when you really listen to that song and dig deeper, that song got some evil shit that it's really talking about. And y'all know I could have went deeper on this movie right here. But y'all get the point. That's basically what it's speaking of. Go to the beginning of the movie and watch all the way to the end. That's what it's speaking of. Now I want to show y'all these 2 scriptures right here. Here go the scriptures right here. And I want you to read these scriptures on your own. I told y'all before, you got to know how to read the Bible. You got to know how to read it and put it together. And then I want to ask you this question right here. Do you want to be a sinner / a sellout? Or do you want to walk in your natural godhood? Ye are gods and create. I don't know about you, but I ain't no sinner. I chose to be a god / goddess of my life and create. And that rabbit hole right there go much more deeper. Y'all be good. I will be back.